Hello, everybody. Dark Zekrom here. You can call me Jason.
And I'm Storm Targaryen. You could just call me Storm.
And welcome to the first episode of a channel that we're calling Tier Mania. Tier Mania is going to be a tier list focused channel where we'll be having discussions and making tier lists about various topics, including some of maybe your favorite ones. So stay tuned for more. So I'm going to leave it to Storm to explain a little bit more of what's going on with that.
So yeah, we're going to be doing a bunch of different things. So if there's any suggestions you have, definitely let us know. And if you ever disagree or agree with what we're saying in the tier list, definitely let us know what you think and why. So yeah, today, of course, we're doing epic rap battles of history. So
I feel
with
the
each
only
tier list,
appropriate way to start.
of course. And with each tier list, of course, each topic is going to have different factors as to why they're S tier, why they're F tier, etc. So for epic rap battles, we're going to be generally going off of, the flows, the rhymes, the disses, the beats, sometimes the costumes, the portrayals, all that stuff.
Yeah, we're going to talk about each one in pretty decent detail, maybe about 2-3 minutes on each one. So we're going to be here for a little while.
Oh yeah, buckle
There's
in.
a lot of ones down here, but let's go ahead and get this started with John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly. The original, and probably not their best.
Yeah, so that's the thing. This definitely isn't their best, but as a starting point, it's really not that bad. I think they both did as good of a job portraying their characters as they could. The only problem is, again, we're going back to watch it. We're so used to how good they are now that it's like, it's kind of hard to give it the same fairness,
Yeah,
but
it's hard to like get immersed in this one, and there's no lyrics. It's fairly short. I will say that the performances from both NicePeter and EpicLloyd are great. I think they really nailed the characters well, personally. But I don't know. This one's never really stuck for me.
Yeah, same.
So with that being said, I think we agree that we might be putting this one in D.
Yep. I think it personifies D tier pretty well.
Yeah, I'd agree. All right, next up is Darth Vader versus Hitler 1. Storm, I think you're a pretty big fan of this one. You want to go ahead and start this one off?
Yeah, I feel like this one, we gotta rank it decently high. Because, it's so iconic, It's such a good matchup. Obviously they do 3 of these, so it's pretty good. I think Lloyd kills it as Hitler. I think they did as good of a job as they could, with the budget they had with Vader. Mm-hmm. And, all the bars are great. The beat is, surprisingly good for how far in the beginning this was. And, this was kind of the first battle that kicked off the channel for them, that really got super popular and made it to the homepage of YouTube back in the day.
Definitely one of the first ones that really put ERB on the map.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this one's really good. I don't think it can hold a candle to the second one, personally.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, it isn't going to go C, but because of its starting point and where it put ERB, we're going to put it, I believe, on B tier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up is Chuck Norris versus Abraham Lincoln, and this one's one of my favorites. This one's hilarious. This one's iconic. I would argue this one probably put them on the map even more than this one did, but I think they're probably both equal in retrospect. At the same time, though, this one's definitely up there for me 100%. I love this one.
Oh, yeah. It's so good in, every way. The beat is surprisingly good, but da-na-na-na-na-na, it gets you hyped before it even starts. Yep. They're both great. I think them kind of embracing the bling era of rap, because this came out 2011, 2010. With Abraham's gold chain and his gold teeth, it's so ridiculous, but it's so
such a
good.
Contrast.
Yeah, it's amazing.
This one's great because Abraham Lincoln, that character, has made appearances in many of the epic rap battles of history. I think maybe 3, maybe 4 of them. He's been in a lot, so that just shows the impact it's had on the epic rap battles of history lore and kind of the rules and everything that they made along with these rap battles. The lines are iconic and memorable. Chuck Norris, when he gets super large, he just yells, "I got a black belt on the beard that I grow on my dick," and it's what? What is this? Where is this going? Where did that come from? Abraham Lincoln starts off with his iconic speech: 4 score and 55 years in the past, And it's just, he really gets you going. The voices are great. The character portrayals, the designs, the costumes are excellent. They look like they're characters they should be.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is very easily A tier.
Yeah, I 100% agree. A tier for sure.
Oh,
Alrighty.
boy.
So, Sarah Palin versus Lady Gaga is, if I'm not mistaken, Storm, this is one of your underdog picks here.
Now, underdog is a strong term for this one. I just don't think it's awful. There's some, I think it's great because this is the first battle that they brought women into the battle. The actress who played Sarah Palin is really good. Peter as Lady Gaga is something, all right. But,
It's an image, all right.
it's memorable, to say the least, and I think there were some good bars in there. Lady Gaga with "You're the most dysfunctional family since the Jackson fucking 5." I think that's a great line.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
the way he portrays that line, he kind of adds the stress on the Jackson fucking 5, and
yeah,
it's really good. But
yeah, it's just a little problematic looking back at it. It's a little transphobic. It doesn't age very well.
Yeah, this one did not age well at all.
Yeah, I think it's gotta be D tier.
Yeah, D tier, but above the Bill O'Reilly one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Hulk Hogan versus Kim Jong-il.
Oh man,
this one. This one's got some funny lines. Randy Macho Man Savage makes an appearance, and I love Randy Macho Man Savage. The snap it to a Slim Jim, and then you got the iconic Hulk Hogan line, which Storm.
You're a fake, a phony. Horizon Roadie Jabroni. Oh, it's so great.
It's great.
It's so
great. Despite all these things, and I think this is the only epic rap battle of history to ever be remade.
I
rap
believe
and
so.
Everything was the same. The rap, the flow, the beat, everything was the same, except the visuals were updated to be more in line with what they wanted originally, but weren't able to get back then for whatever reason. If you watch the behind the scenes of one of them, I don't remember which one, they talk about how they're going to redo this one, and they do, and it actually looks a lot better. I think it looks good, but at the same time, this one didn't need to happen.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It just Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah,
but it gets points for being funny, for being memorable.
Yeah,
and I love the line, but I think Timothy De La Ghetto does a great job here.
Oh yeah,
and I think his line, "Beijing is in China, you blonde asshole." I think that's so good. So I think it's D tier, TBH.
Yeah, D tier. I think it goes in between these two.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we've got Beethoven versus Bieber.
Oof, the Biebs.
The Biebs. This was at the height of Bieber fever. The actor they got to portray Justin Bieber was excellent in portraying him in that portrayal, or that image of annoying and high and pitchy. But this one's good. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of this one. I think it is at least B tier. I love Peter's portrayal of Beethoven. He's just so intense and angry, and it's whoa, who pissed this guy off? But he's got great bars. I got more cock than Smith and Wesson. It's just oh, it's great. He flips the piano. I got Kim Kardashian in my bed backstage by Bieber is pretty great too, I think.
Yeah, there's some clean lines in this one.
Yeah, it's very, very solid. So that's why I think it's B tier.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think there's enough redeeming qualities, though, for it to make it A tier, so I think it's B tier. And I do think it goes under this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I honorable mention to the line, the first opening line by Beethoven being, "Sit down, son, and let me give you a music lesson." I think that's great, too.
It's really good. And the beat's good because of the classical music in composition in there,
yeah,
too.
the beat is really good on that one.
Okay, moving on. Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking is hands down an S. You can fight me on it. This one is one of the best, if not the best. It is up there for me. I love this one. This one's iconic. This one's hilarious. There's so many lines. There's so many disses. The beat's fantastic.
Yes, it's just, man, it's so good. It's everything I feel like every rap battles of history is. It's two figures that everybody knows. It's a very underrated beat. Just they're going at each other, like they're not holding anything back. The T-painting of Stephen Hawking is great, and it just makes it so funny. This great lines, there are 10 million, like it's just, it's great.
Yeah,
so.
This one's super iconic. You've got the 10 million particles in the universe that we could observe. Your mama took the ugly ones and put them into one nerd.
Yeah.
Baking raps from scratch, like Carl Sagan comes to mind on this one. You sound like Wally having sex with a speaking spell. Like, that's hilarious. Like, what?
So
then the only giant shoulders you should be standing on if you could stand. Where he says something like that, like talking about him to Stephen Hawking. Albert Einstein does. But just this one's great. The actors' portrayals. This one's excellent. You really like the actor of Albert Einstein.
Yeah, this is our first introduction to back in the day MC Mr. Napkins, but now Zach Sherwin. And he goes in. He does great. I love Pete just absolutely chewing the scenery as Hawking just kind of just moving his neck every 20 minutes, It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's good. So this is definitely 100% our first S tier. Which does lead us into probably what's going to be our first F tier.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny versus Genghis Khan.
This is just another example of why. It's not because Genghis Khan is such a strong historical figure that it's I feel like he could have been saved for a better matchup. That
where is this connection?
Yeah, what is the connection?
What does this come from? Where in what general relevance does the Easter Bunny have anything to do with Genghis? I just got it.
What?
Genghis Khan apparently birthed over 1,000 children, and rabbits are known for breeding.
Look at us.
That's probably exactly what it is. That doesn't make it any better. This is an F tier. That doesn't make it any better.
This connection doesn't save you. I mean, look, if there's one saving grace about it, for those of you that for some reason this is your favorite rap battle, I do think the beat on this one is really good. And if you watch the behind the scenes for this one is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. So
yeah, but the behind the scenes isn't the rap battle. So
true,
it stays an F tier.
True. It's definitely F tier, but it is what it is.
Alrighty, Napoleon versus Napoleon. This one's definitely really good. I one of my favorites. I think it's a little bit underappreciated. I don't think it went far, but I don't think it went as far as it probably could or should have. You've got the visuals are excellent. The actors are phenomenal in this one. The costumes are wonderful. I love the opening visual when they're riding in. You've got and you've got the tiger Napoleon's on, and their legs and the horse are looking like pins and cardboard. It's what the heck is this? It's hilarious. Storm's got some favorite lines from this one.
Yeah, there's some great lines, I think, and also just Peter dancing as Napoleon is fantastic. And but yeah, I think it's great that Lloyd learned some French for this. I'm gonna shove your moon boots right up your poop chute. You're the only type of dynamite that's never gonna bang. That is so good. That is such a good line. But yeah, I thought this was a great one.
Yeah, definitely. I think this goes in A tier.
Oh yeah.
Does it go above Abraham Lincoln versus Chuck Norris? Unfortunately, no.
I would put it below. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put it below. All right, Billy Mays versus Benjamin Franklin. This one's very middle ground.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be our first C tier.
Yeah.
It's it's definitely not bad, but it's not amazing either. I think Lloyd is great as Benjamin Franklin, and the guy who plays Billy Mays is really he looks a lot like him. It's crazy.
It looks like it could be Billy Mays.
But I think the real star of this one is the ShamWow guy, Pete, coming in, Weasley menace, just killing him, absolutely ripping him apart.
Yep, that one's good.
There's some pretty good lines. The only thing I feel that holds this one back is just the beat is not very good. It's very it's just kind of there. It doesn't really add anything to the battle.
Yeah, it's something for them to have a flow to, and it just doesn't really it doesn't get you immersed in it. Yeah,
exactly. But I love the line from ShamWow guy, it's bad enough I gotta see you every time I tip a stripper. That's so good. But it's solid. It's solid.
It's a good one. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's C tier.
Boom.
All right. Gandalf versus Dumbledore.
This one, I can't get over the fact that these are such like iconic characters in their stories that I feel like it could have been so much better, and it just was all right. You know, it was just all right.
It was very disappointing for what it very well could have been. I think I've seen this one a total of 2 times, and whenever you talk to somebody about epic rap battles of history, unless you're doing a deep dive like this, they never say, "Oh yeah, you remember Gandalf versus Dumbledore?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just not... It could have been so much better. It's so much potential.
Yeah.
At the very least, this... Again, I hate to keep bringing up the behind the scenes, but I do think the behind the scenes does add a lot to the ERB experience. This was the origin of the heroin joke, for those of you that know about that. So I think that bumps it up a little bit. Like, it's wonderful. So
yeah,
I would say
behind the scenes is a good one.
Yeah, but I would say it's honestly D tier.
Yeah,
you know, it's
D tier and above Hulk Hogan, but not above Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. This one is Dr. Seuss versus William Shakespeare. And this is our first introduction into, remind me of this actor's name.
George Watsky. Great artist, by the way.
Yeah, really. This one's solid.
This one is very solid. I am a big fan of this one. I think... So, again, introduction to Watsky. Absolutely kills it. Super fire. Really fast rapping. Very hard to do. And, you know, I love how they had Dr. Seuss not talk, because he's famous for, you know, not actually speaking. Yep. And just, honestly, Pete as a Cat in the Hat has so much swag somehow with his performance. I think it's great. And Lloyd as Thing 1 and Thing 2 is just perfect. It's incredible.
Our little feety pajamas.
Exactly. I love Pete's line... you leave a classroom looking like the end of Macbeth. I think that's great. And yeah, I think this is like very, very solid. I think it's got to be B tier. You know?
Yeah, I 100% agree. This is a very good one. I think it's above Darth Vader.
Yeah, I would agree.
If it wants to let me, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, Mr. T versus Mr. Rodgers is one of the first, for me anyway, one of the first like, oh yeah, that's a solid winner. Like that's the one who won this battle.
Yeah, this is very one-sided.
Yeah, but this one's so good. Like the only reason these two are together is because of Mr. And they were you know early 80s and 90s, I believe, TV shows. So it kind of makes sense. They're childhood shows. You got the A-Team and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But some of the lines, looking like a what was it, like whack-ass breakfast cereal or something like that.
Whack-ass Captain Crunch.
Whack-ass Captain Crunch, yeah. And then Mr. T's, I'm going to dip little trolley the train in gold and wear my chains around my neck, sucker. And it's like, what?
Like, it's such a, for lack of a better term, just like a zany matchup. You know, you'd never think these two would be together, but it works so well.
It's really good.
This was they have a lot of actors that they bring back. This is our first introduction to Daystorm. I think he does a great job as Mr. T. And, like, Pete as Mr. Rodgers is, like, surprisingly intimidating, especially at the end. He's like, get the fuck out of my neighborhood. It's like,
it's
damn.
Terrifying.
Like,
it's horrifying.
Crazy. So I would say this is pretty good. I'm kind of in the middle of C tier and B tier. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm thinking.
I have an affinity to this one because this was one of the, like, first ones that I don't remember it word for word anymore, but this is one of the first ones I would, like, sit down and watch over and over again. So I really want to put this one in B tier.
I will not disagree with that.
I do think that it goes above Beethoven versus Bieber, though.
That's fine.
Okay.
I can't really make the case. But fun fact, this was actually my my first ever Epic Rap Battles history that I saw.
Oh, this one?
I still remember being in I was like at school waiting to get picked up and watched it and was like, what is this? Like, it just whole thing. So that one's kind of special for me too.
That's good, yeah. My first one was Chuck Norris, Abraham Lincoln.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that one's also got some goodness in me. Okay, Christopher Columbus versus Captain Kirk.
Oh baby, so this is this is literally my favorite Epic Rap Battles history. I love this one so much, and I know it's not a lot of people aren't super into it, but hear me out. Okay, first of all, the beat on this one is so good. It's like a classic rap beat, but it also had this weird like techno stuff going on that's really good. The portrayal of Columbus is amazing. Like, he just comes in, arrivederci, I'm gonna leave before this begins. iconic, like so good. And I know a lot of people dislike Lloyd's portrayal of Captain Kirk, but that's how he talked in the old
I think
TV
that's
shows.
excellent.
So
I love the way he portrays Captain Kirk and really takes his time with how he says the lines, and it's phenomenal. It's great.
Yeah, it's so great. I absolutely love it. There's a bunch of great lines. Like, rapping against you, it's not even a fun. It's just so good. Lloyd with show Isabella my captain's log. Iconic. I think I personally would say it's S tier, but that's a little too strong. I would be happy with A tier though.
This one I enjoy this one. Captain Kirk is my favorite part of this one. He's a lot more memorable for me than Christopher Columbus personally. It's not my favorite, so that does kind of skew it, I think, to A tier, but I definitely think it's better than Napoleon. Is it better than this?
No, I'd say it's in between Napoleon and Abraham.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. First of this saga, NicePeter versus EpicLloyd, and the end of season 1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's just, so the thing about these battles is, like, it's cool for those of us that are super fans and, like, watch all the behind the scenes and, like, know a lot about Pete and Lloyd, but for the casual fan that just is looking for epic rap battles of history, it's kind of weird to watch it. It almost kind of feels like, you know, like your parents are fighting and you're like, guys, stop, please. You know, it's like...
There's a lot of anxiety in this one.
Yeah, and I know for them, they made it because they were hinting like, oh, this is the end of the rap battles, which obviously is not true. But at the time, like, there wasn't a confirmed season 2. This was their way to confirm season 2. So for that, I think it's fine. But I can't put this any higher than D or C tier.
Yeah,
like, it's just
not even
not that
C
great.
for me.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, D tier is probably the way to go. It's just.
I don't even. It's the best of D tier. I definitely think it's above all of these in here.
Oh yeah.
If it lets me move them. Thank you.
But I mean, there's some solid lines in there. Like, I think it was Pete or Lloyd who said like, "I will beat you, dislike you, then unsubscribe." Like that goes hard. Pete talking to Lloyd, being like, "You look like a thumb. Where did you even come from?" It's like, what? It's just all right. You know, it serves the purpose.
Yeah, exactly. I think the thing for me for this battle is they don't feel natural. I don't feel like they're playing them. They're playing themselves like characters. They don't feel like they're playing themselves. I think that's what really throws me off. Like, it doesn't feel like they're actually talking to each other. It feels like, yes, this was set up for a rap battle, which it was, but they could have made it a little more natural, IMO.
Definitely.
All right. Iconic.
Oh, baby. We got a banger on our hands.
Darth Vader versus Hitler #2. Who would have thought? The first, and I think one of the only, if not the only, rap battles to get an actual sequel with a 2 in the name and everything. Mm-hmm. So this one, I don't think can go any lower than A. It's either S or A for me.
I think this one is S tier. I think it is so good. The beat is insane on this one. Like with the chorus in the background, like, ooh, it sets the tone perfectly. They have that whole intro beforehand for all the Star Wars fans. That was a great intro.
That was awesome.
And then, you know, Vader comes in. Someone loathes you, bitch. It's like, oh, like the costume for Vader was a lot better this time. Mm-hmm. And oh my god, every line by Hitler just hits, which is something I'd never thought I'd say in my life. But, like, man.
Don't demonetize us. This is Hitler a character. We're not talking about the actual person.
But this portrayal of Hitler is just so on point, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, the specific lines, you know, you're 6'6" in black but can't get a date. Like, it's like, oh. Like, it's just, it's so good. It's so good. So I think this is easily S tier. I think you 100%. Could put it over Einstein, but for the sake of it, I'll say we'll just put it in S tier.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll put these two, I say, are pretty equal, IMO. Mm-hmm. Okay, Master Chief versus Leonidas. This is one of the ones I don't get the connection.
They're both just like Master Chiefs, like leaders of armies, you know, stuff like that.
Okay, that makes sense. A little loose in my opinion, but this is one of their most viewed, but it's not one of their best.
I think it's very solid, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of their best either. There's some really good lines, you know, took your queen to my place and showed her my plasma cannon. For like those who play Halo, that's great. They did the whole like Sparta kick and everything. I think both like the Master Chief portrayal was okay. I like the voice that they had for him. I thought that fit really well. And the guy who played Leonidas was great. But yeah, there's just something about it that like this is such a huge matchup, but it was just kind of solid. You know, it wasn't like this big spectacle that I thought it was going to be. You know,
I completely agree. It makes sense for certain terms, but at the same time, it was very like when it was over, you're like, huh, yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't go much further than that. So I think for that, it's probably B or C.
Yeah, I think you could make the case for either one, but I feel like we got to put it in B tier because I know this is a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah.
So you know,
it's just a matter of
definitely
where
not
does
bad.
this go.
I would put it in between Rodgers and Vader. I think
Rodgers and Vader for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. Okay, this one I'm a little biased on. I love this one. The Mario Brothers versus the Wright Brothers. I love it for many reasons. One, those of you that don't know me, I'm a massive Rhett and Link fan. A massive Good Mythical Morning fan. Love them. I'm subscribed to Mythical Society. I have the Rhett and Link Chia pets that they just released for those of you guys that follow that. Like, I am into Rhett and Link real good. But also, this one's so good for the video game side of things as well. Everyone knows what the Mario Brothers is. Mm-hmm. You know who the Wright Brothers are enough to get the references they're making in this one. Rhett and Link are... You could not find a better pair on the internet to play the Wright Brothers other than Rhett and Link, in my opinion. They're basically brothers at this point. You know?
Honestly.
The Mario Brothers, pow! How you like me now? Spitting flames out our mouths like our names are Bowser. Like, that's so good. Like, what? Like, how do you not like that? Or we're gonna beat you so fast, like we're holding down the B button. Look at you, you're so skinny. Like there's so many iconic lines. This one is 100% for me an S tier. Sorry, Storm, I had to ogle a little bit. You can go for your opinion.
No, I hate to bring down the party here, but I did not think it was that good. Like, I do think it lived up to the hype for sure. And there's a bunch of lines that I love. I love how they have Mario bling on.
Yeah, right? It's so good.
Like, that's great. I love the line from Link, like, your princess is in our castle now. Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. Like,
I think
what?
That's good. But it's like, I don't think it's S tier though. Like, I think it's good, but I think it's at maximum A tier. You know, I cannot put this in S tier. I cannot.
Like I said, I'm biased.
I did not
so
hit her.
I will. I did not lie. I'll put it in A, but it's going to the top of A. I'm not going any lower than that. That's where it stays.
That's fair.
Okay. Michael Jackson versus Elvis Presley.
So this one, again, huge matchup. Like King of Pop,
Massive.
King of Rock, all that.
There's always fights between them, arguments between them.
Oh, yeah. And I think they did, like, as good of a job as they could have possibly done, you know?
Oh, yeah. They didn't have to go into the past and talk about the kid, the younger Elvis and Michael Jackson as a child, but they did. And the transformation scenes were really funny and good.
Yeah, like, the little kid who plays him, I believe his name is Bentley, like, killed it. I love how Pete is just Michael Jackson, which is great, you know. There's some great lines. Some, like, Elvis said, like, I only let her take you to your ranch because I knew you'd never bang her. Like, I think that's great.
You never bang her.
That, I'm trying to think of some lines from Michael Jackson, but... He
says something about, like, died on the shitter or something like that. Or is that Elvis that says that? Something about, like, eating a peanut butter sandwich. I'll die, like, on the shitter. Take her to the Neverland Ranch to hee-hee.
Yeah.
Like, that one's a good one. When Child Michael Jackson says something about his, like, big old belly, which is really funny. So this one's so solid. You could easily put this one in A tier.
Yeah. For some reason, I just wasn't that into it. I know I'm not giving the best explanations. But I feel like it's B tier, you know? I do like the beat on this one. I think that, like, that bass line that's going is groovy. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's B tier.
You know what? Yeah, I will. There's a couple lines that really, like, miss for Elvis. So I'll put it at B tier, and I'll put it here. I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Cleopatra versus Marilyn Monroe is probably one of the most provocative, not safe for work, and savage rap battles that we've ever had.
Criminally underrated. This one, is insane. Like, it is actually nutty. Like, if you go back and watch this one, everything they say is just off the walls. The beat is fire for this one. Both the portrayals, both the actresses, like, look really, really good as their characters. Like, they look the part. Just, man, I think this one, I think you, like, have to put in S tier. It's so good.
I completely agree. This one's such an underdog pick. There's so many excellent lines, like, your sandy vagina has a 7-year itch. Like, what? Where'd that come from? There's, I think, an abortion joke in there.
Yeah, she said, you have so many abortions, we should call you miscarriage.
Yeah, like, and it's like, oh my god! Like, what? There's like a part, I don't remember the line she says it, but Cleopatra like kind of like goes crazy for a second. She's like, it's like, what the?
She pulls a peak Nicki Minaj there. She said, a candle in the wind who can't act for shit.
There it is. A candle in the wind who can't act for shit. That's it. Yeah, I honestly, Storm, I'll be real 100% honest with you guys, transparent. We talked about this kind of stuff a few months ago. We were just kind of discussing on our own. And he convinced me that this one is criminally underrated, so I'm agreeing with him. But I am putting it at the bottom of what we have.
Yeah, I think that's more than fair. It is. If you haven't watched this one in a while, definitely rewatch it. It is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, but we lead into the best epic rap battle.
Honestly, yeah. Spoiler for the rest of the list, but this is about as good as it gets.
You can't get better than this one. The rest of the list, nothing's gonna top. Steve Jobs versus Bill Gates. You can't. There's no way.
It's perfect. It is literally the perfect battle. The beat fits amazingly. It is so jamming. It's bumping.
Really does.
Like, even like on first listen, like you just want to know the lyrics. Like you want to rap along with them.
Exactly.
Let me just step right in. I got you to do a bit. Like it's like, oh, it's so good.
I got things to admit. I'm an innovator, baby. Just the world. Fortune 500 for you kissed a girl. I'm a slick. I'm a pimp. You're a nerd. You're cheesy. Beating you is apple too easy.
Yeah. Like, it's just fantastic. Both of their portrayals of Jobs and Gates are, like, spot on.
Like, phenomenal. Absolutely. Like, the top tier of acting. They both could just fit into their own nerdy characters. This is when they did the epic dance battles of history for a little while there. And I think this was the first one they did, or one of the second ones they did. And the ending, and then if you watch that actual whole video on their second channel, they're just doing like just stupid stuff, and they're moving their bodies in weird contorted nerdy ways. It's hilarious. And it's good.
I believe this was the first one where they were backed by Maker Studios, and they had that big studio that they made these in, and the production jump like shows. So this is when ERB really started to get good. And wow, it's just insane. I think the only thing you could knock this for is the end where they bring HAL 9000 in and they have him rapping. It makes sense if you've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, but if you haven't seen that movie, it's very confusing. Like, I hadn't seen it when the battle first came out, and I was so confused.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it either. I was really confused as well. However, with that said, to pull it back up a peg, I think HAL 9000's lyrics and flow are really good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Even without being able to get the references, the way he, hey, can you shoot me down when I got the rocket? Your cortex just doesn't impress me, even when you're trying to turn and test me. Like, it's so good. This whole battle, everything about it, like, you can't not put this in S tier, let alone be the best epic rap battle. There's so many people out there who put other things above this one. They're all wrong. This is not an opinion anymore. This is fact. This is the best rap battle out of every single one of them.
Absolutely iconic.
Yeah. Now, bringing it back into that, bringing it down a little bit, we've got Freddie Mercury versus Frank Sinatra, which I feel like deserves more attention, but at the same time, I'm not super into.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think this one is definitely underrated. Like, it's pretty good. The only thing is the beat is kind of weird for this one. Like, I wouldn't, with these two characters, I wouldn't imagine a beat that's like that sounds like a marching anthem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird. But they're both really good. Like, it's really short as well. But for the time that they had,
I don't think it's any more than like 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, like, but in the time that they had, they both had some like really good punchlines. You know, like "Kiss my ass, Frankie, but you have to wait in line." Like, that's great. The little Sammy Davis nod with Chocolate Rain in there is great. But, you know, I think it's solid, but it's just like, it's not like amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a solid. I could say this could be a C tier, maybe B, but it wouldn't be very high. And what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think B tier is pretty solid.
B tier,
probably at probably like bottom or mid B tier.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it there personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, but it's missing out.
Yeah.
So we talked about how Darth Vader versus Hitler, Chuck Norris versus Abraham Lincoln. You could even say Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking really put ERB on the map. Well, when Barack Obama versus Mitt Romney came out, ERB was a household name after this rap battle. There is no other contest. This has to be S tier, right below Bill Gates versus Steve Jobs.
Definitely. And I think recording this on February 17th, 2020, but I'm pretty sure that these two are still their most popular battles.
These believe are just, so.
It's just so good. The portrayal of Romney and Barack are fantastic. Alpha Cat does a great job. Lloyd does a great job. The beat on this one is great. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Every line they have, they're just going back and forth like a political battle tends to do.
Exactly.
It's just great.
And then you can't not mention the cameo from Abraham Lincoln. He comes back. I think this is one of his first appearances back. It's so good. It's hilarious. He comes in on the eagle, the iconic "for the people, by the people, eagle," and he flies away. It's just so good. All of the lines from Barack Obama are hilarious. You got your hand so far up your ear. Call you Mitt. I'm the head of state. You're a head of cabbage. About to get smacked by my stimulus package. And then he comes in the background. It's like, what?
Yeah, he's so got funny. Like ad-libs going, which is great. He's like, I got 4 more years. 2 turns. Like that's great. Mitt Romney's line about you're a decent politician with a winning complexion. Sorry, that's great. Mm-hmm. Man, it's just so good. It is so good, so memorable.
Stacks and super PACs. We all know went down in that 2008 election. It's a good one. It's great. It's definitely S tier. You can't argue otherwise. It literally is their most viewed video and put them on the map even further than they already were. Mm-hmm. This was being talked about on, I think there were some news articles or casts that showed this video or were talking about it. Because this one, arguably, this was one of the most controversial, other than, what happened a few years ago, controversial presidential elections in a long time.
Yeah.
So this one was huge. That they did it perfect timing. Everything about it was really, they nailed this one.
Definitely.
Alrighty. So coming down again, Doc Brown versus Doctor Who. I have an affinity to this one because the Back to the Future series is my favorite movie series of all time. So this one's great to me. Although, Storm, I don't think you liked this one very much.
No, I definitely enjoyed this one. I don't think you can justify putting it any higher than A tier. But I do think it's very good. I love oh my god, everything Doc Brown says is great. Doc Brown just goes nuts on this one. And as someone who hasn't seen Doctor Who or Back to the Future, I'm only going off so much here. But from my friends that have watched Doctor Who, they said that Pete's portrayal of the Doctor was kind of odd. I believe he was going for David Tennant, but I'm not 100% sure. So that was kind of weird, but it's super just memorable and catchy. I love the beat on this one, the bass or the kick drums on this one goes nuts. I love Watsky coming in, just rapping fast and just getting right out of there. It was super good,
Second on my Piccadilly, it look a lot different. It's good. I love that it's a time loop.
Yeah, that's great.
I love
that's a great addition.
It starts out with the first watch through. You start it and it's rap battles of history, and you're like, what was that? Where is this? And you keep watching it, and then it starts again, and you're like, oh my god, what the heck? That was so clever.
Yeah, I love.
Great Scott, you're great. Not I spit it hot. Generate way more power than 1.21 million gigawatts.
That is so good. Great Scott, you're great. Not. What a bar.
I'll Dalek my balls. Exterminate. This one's great. I would put it in S tier just simply because it's Doc Brown, but I'll give it to Storm and I'll put it in A tier, but it's not going above the Wright brothers.
Yeah, honorable mention to the line, you're not a cat with 9 lives, you're a pussy with 13. That's a great line too.
That one's really good. Clint Eastwood versus Bruce Lee.
You want to take this?
I really like this one. I really do. I think this one's a solid A tier. The jokes are funny. The visuals are hilarious. I remember specifically watching the behind the scenes and explaining, and this is one of the first ones where they really like highlighted this effect that they try to do, where they have one character move from the other character's scene and the scenes kind of transition and the character looks really cool. So you'll have like, there's a scene where Bruce Lee punches a ninja, and the ninja falls, but falls in between the middle of the frame, so he's split in half between a ninja and a cowboy, and it's really clever and really very well done. Like, it doesn't look like it's an edited video at all. It looks excellent. The slipper shoe part where he picks his leg up is hilarious, because a lot of old kung fu movies, they had a special effects thing where you see like the leg pop up, and it's just not physically possible to have their leg that way. It looks really funky. It's really bad. Some of the lines that Clint says, it's borderline racist. A couple of them.
It's a little on the sus side there.
A little bit, but I love the you can't even match up the words with your lips, and his lips just kind of talk like a little Muppet. Like, I think that's hilarious. The chair scene where he throws a chair at him, and Clint Eastwood just revolver shoots it out of the air and it explodes. This whole battle for me is at least an A tier. But I don't know about Storm on this one.
Yeah, I hate to be a party pooper again, but I just like, for the reasons you already said, it's like a little bit problematic, and I thought the beat on this one was interesting. I think it worked, but I wasn't a big fan of it. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't the biggest fan of this one, to be honest. I think I couldn't put it below B tier, but I don't know about A tier though. That's the thing, is like, I don't know. I don't have too much to say on this one. I'm just not a fan. You know?
Okay, I want to put it in A tier, but I understand. And looking at these, you know, I can see why it wouldn't be A tier.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it matches up with anything else in A tier.
Yeah,
but I think you can easily put it at the top of B.
Top of B, like very top. Yeah, that's where I was thinking. Okay, so coming down from top of B tier to probably F tier.
Oof,
I don't think we can make an argument for D tier on this one. Batman versus Sherlock Holmes is a great idea and concept. It was just the way they portrayed Batman. Oh my god, what was that?
Yeah, that was tough. Not a good look for my man NicePeter here. You know?
It was cringy. It didn't work. It was forced. It just this one's bad.
Here's the case for D tier though. Here's the case. I think Sherlock's last verse is fire. You know, when him and Watson are going back to back, he's like, I deduce this Dustain is Bruce Wayne, the billionaire. Like, it's just, I think that verse alone saves it from being garbage, but I think you can very easily put it in F tier as well, because man, cannot understate that portrayal of Batman is tough to watch.
Yeah, it's really bad, dude. Like, the costume wasn't very good. Their costumes, they usually nail them. This one looked like it was from Spirit Halloween. You know, I don't want to undermine Epic Rap Battles of History's like effort, but oh my god, this one wasn't good. They didn't fill out his muscles enough. I think honestly another saving grace is Robin. I think Lloyd is Robin and his tights.
I totally forgot about that. That is such a good point. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
It's hilarious.
I hate to keep bringing up the behind the scenes, but Lloyd in the behind the scenes, this one is fantastic. Like, it's just so funny to see him walking around in those tights. Like, it's just, it's great. So, because of Lloyd and Zach Sherwin's performance, I feel like you got to put it D tier at the least.
It's going to the bottom, though.
Yeah, you can put it at the bottom because oof.
Yeah, but that just shows if you have one bad character, just as a premise, just for future reference, if you have one bad character, it can really just knock down the whole rap battle. If Batman was better, this would probably be a B tier.
Yeah.
But NicePeter's portrayal of Batman literally almost just made it an F tier. Like, it's not good.
Nah. But on the contrary,
Santa Claus versus Moses, and at the time, Snoop Lion, now Snoop Dogg again. What? Where did he come from? How did they get in touch with him?
Absolutely crazy. Now, this, fun fact, this was a time where, for some reason, Snoop, so he's doing a lot of rebranding, you know, he was Snoop Lion, he was doing a lot of stuff on YouTube, he was in a bunch of stuff, but holy, this one is amazing. Like, I was shook when I was, first of all, I still think everyone is amazed that Snoop Dogg is in this. But it's just, even Santa Claus is good. Like, Santa Claus has some great lines. The beat on this one is amazing. Like the ho ha ho ha like beat going on. It's so good. Everything Snoop says is just insane. Obviously, he kills it with the flow. Just has so much like bravado and swag, and it's just like, you know, when I was high upon the mountain, God reveals the truth of the earth, but he never mentioned a fat ass Papa Smurf. Like, it's so good. And Lloyd as the elves is amazing. Like, if you go back and watch this and just look at Lloyd, you'll just laugh your ass off. It's so good. So I think
I'm pretty sure Lloyd was on his knees.
Yeah,
like,
he was
they do
on his
knee
knees.
shoe trick.
Yeah, with the little shoes, and you could like clearly see that in the battle. But I think this one is no question S tier. I think it's fantastic.
I 100% agree, and I do think it's here.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's there. I don't think it's any lower than that. Adam and Eve.
This one is underrated.
Jenna Marbles.
Jenna Marbles, man, this one, dude. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. One of the best beats in epic rap battles of history. Like the bow, 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 bow. Like, it's so catchy.
It's good. It's very good. This one's really good.
I think Jenna
This was another one of those epic dance battles of history videos, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they both do a great job. Obviously, there's so much easy like things you can write about another person's gender that it's like there's so much content here.
Yeah.
So everything they say is just like, you know, snapping back and forth at each other. You know, like then your junk starts bleeding and you turn to a demon. And she's like, you know, ditch the pine leaf, get yourself a pine needle. Like that's great.
Ditch the fig leaf, get yourself a pine needle.
Yeah. Iconic. Sitting here playing Fantasy League with Steve or something like that. Like, that's great. I think this one is fantastic. I think you can't put it any lower than B tier. I could make the argument for A tier. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think it's low A tier.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I really do. It's very good. Okay. This one. I love this one. Dr. Martin Luther King versus Gandhi. Mm-hmm. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. versus Gandhi. This one, Key and Peele's first appearance ever.
Which is
also
crazy
one of those,
that
like,
they got
what
them.
the heck?
You know?
Like, they weren't as big as they are now. Granted, that's still huge. Like, what? These two, they I remember watching behind the scenes, they came in and they were working on their dynamics. Like their dynamic was between the two. The Key and Peele dynamic shows so much in this battle. I'm pretty sure EpicLloyd and NicePeter hardly wrote the lyrics on this one. This is just a hunch. Because just how well these two work together, they probably were like, oh, we need to make a joke about non-bread. We need to make a joke about the protests. We need to make a joke about celibacy. Like, they probably just started nailing everything. And every single line in this video is hilarious.
Yeah.
And it ends on also one of the best lines ever. I'm celibate because I don't give a fuck. Like, what?
Then he just, like, slowly lowers into
It's so
darkness.
good!
It's great. And to answer your question, yeah, in the behind the scenes, they show them in the writer's room, like, meeting Key and Peele for the first time. They're all, like, making jokes back and forth. So it was great. I love the, you know, I have a dream that one day you'll take a shower. Like, that's so great. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. I think it's gotta be like at least B tier, if not A tier. You know,
it's high A tier for me, dude.
Yeah,
like probably here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, Thomas Edison versus Nikola Tesla, I think, is one of those things similar to the Batman one, where one character really weighs it down. And that character for me was Edison. I think Nikola Tesla really nailed it. I don't remember the actor's name, but he pulled off
Dante, who's normally like their producer.
Oh yeah, well he nailed it. Absolutely killed it. Nikola Tesla, his motions, his movements, his like body gyrating, for lack of a better term, his flow, the accuracy of a lot of the statements they were saying in this one. But Lloyd as Edison, I feel like, is one of his weaker characters.
Yeah, and I think Lloyd normally does like an amazing job at kind of like blending into the character, like just really getting engulfed in it. But this one, I think there was just a lot of like leftover Bill Gates in there, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, it definitely weighed the battle down a lot. I don't really remember too many lines from this one. But I think it's kind of like the definition of either high D tier or low C tier.
It's low C tier for me.
You know,
I really liked the accuracy of a lot of the stuff they were saying, and I like I said, I love Nikola Tesla's performance. I think it's excellent, phenomenal. And I think there's some really cool visuals where I'm pretty sure like Nikola Tesla is like shooting lightning out of his hands.
Yeah.
And I also think this one was pretty short though. I don't think this one was super long.
It was a quick one.
But with that being said, C tier for me, without a doubt. Okay. Want to take this one, Storm?
So, Lance Armstrong versus Babe Ruth. Very interesting matchup, two great athletes. I did not think this one was very good, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I thought Lloyd's or not Lloyd, but Pete's portrayal of Armstrong was great. He was saying in the behind the scenes that the way he got into character was just by looking at someone from across the room, just being like, "Hey," which I think is super funny. But it wasn't that great. I think there were some pretty memorable lines here and there. Armstrong said something like you made all these records before black people could play. That's like having a pasta contest without Italy, which is
something
great.
Like that.
I think Lloyd's verse is pretty catchy. He's like, "Live strong," he's doing that stuff, which I think is good. But I don't think you could put it any higher than C tier. It's just, it's all right. It's not bad by any means, but
yeah, it's below the Nikola Tesla one too for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, Mozart versus Skrillex.
Woo!
This one is also one of those hey, you remember ERB? Well, here's a great one.
Yeah.
This one, they've performed it multiple times on different tours. I remember seeing videos of they literally were like, "Can we get some random fan up here who can help us with this?" And the second the beat came on, they were like, "Oh, I know exactly what we're doing." And they started nailing it because so many people know this one. This one's so good. It's a classic battle that still goes on today. EDM versus classical music. What is EDM even really music? Is classical music still really able to hold a candle to what's going on today? And it's just the lines in this one. The final line was also phenomenal. But this one, I high A tier.
Oh yeah, I think you could make the case this is S tier.
You think so?
The only thing that would be dragging it down is Skrillex, because this is arguably the most one-sided battle ever.
Yeah.
Skrillex gets destroyed on this one. But I do think both their portrayals are really good. I love how Pete had to he made himself learn how to play violin a little bit before he did it. Just every line Mozart says is just you're like an emo Steve Urkel, but you reek of dead mouse. What kind of drugs does it take to enjoy this? I have no idea. I've seen more complexity in a couch from IKEA. It's just...
Exactly. It's really good.
It's so good.
You go, oh my goodness. He mentioned something about forte to fortissimo, and for you that means really really loud to really loud or something like that. I don't remember the exact line.
You mean soft to very very loud? Because I'm guessing that you didn't know.
Loud. Yeah, because I'm guessing you didn't know exactly.
All the music nerds out there get that reference.
Yeah, right here. Hello. But yeah, actually, S tier definitely, but I don't know where.
I would put it at the bottom of S tier. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
It deserves to be there,
but it's
I don't think
almost
it
borderline.
Eclipse any of those,
Yeah, almost borderline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Russians. This one is a trip.
Oh yeah, this one's fantastic.
This one's one of their longest ones. It's one of the most surprising. It's got some of the weirdest features and cameos. PewDiePie, what? But also, oh my god, every person that comes in their lines are iconic. Their costume is iconic. The way that the actors are portraying the characters is iconic. This was season 3's ending or season 2's ending?
This is season 2's ending.
Season 2's.
Is it season 3?
No, TMNT is season 3's.
Okay, yeah.
So season 2 ending, and oh my god, this was the first here's all these character kind of rap battles.
Yeah.
And they nailed it, killed it. S tier.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that you could put this one probably in between Santa Claus and Vader 2, honestly.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But man, this one's great. So many good lines. What Stalin said, he's like, "Look into my eyes, you perverted witch." just Lloyd just going for it, I tell you. But that's great. I love again Lloyd coming back as I think it's Gorbachev is his name.
I think it's Gorbachev. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Did
like
somebody say birthmark.
I love that beat. Like it's so surprisingly good.
Yeah, the weird tick-tocking kind of like clockwork steampunky beat.
Yeah, it's so good. He's shook hands with both Ronalds, Reagan and McDonald's, no doubt. Which is just fantastic.
And Peter coming in as Putin at the end.
Oh my goodness.
You want to mess with me? I'm spitting out borscht while I'm dropping these beats. Like,
so memorable, so catchy, just
so good,
fantastic. Literally an epic rap battle of history for sure.
Exactly. The definition of the what this is. That does lead us into season 3 right there. That does lead us into Darth Vader versus Hitler 3, which is arguably the weakest of the 3.
Yeah, it's not amazing, but it was just one of those ones where it's like, all right, we didn't need a third one. You know?
Yeah, this wasn't necessary. I get why you did it. Start of season 3. The other one was the start of season 2. Like, I understand it was, kind of the continuity of it all, but like, really,
Yeah, it's just, and they did a good job. Like, I think they both kill it as usual. But it's just, I think you could put it like the top of C tier probably. Like, it just, it didn't need to happen. Like, we'll take it. Mm-mm. It's fine. But,
Yeah, it was okay. It does pull us into Blackbeard versus Al Capone, which was literally just a commercial.
Yeah, I think for a commercial, pretty good. But, I wasn't that into it, to be honest.
For a commercial, pretty good. For an epic rap battle of history, what?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the character matchup is fine. Yeah, and I think Lloyd is really going for it as Al Capone.
Yeah, al dente.
Yeah,
like it's good, but I don't know. The commercial aspect of it really drags it back.
Yeah, and I believe this one was like somewhat rushed when they were making it as well, and it kind of.
I think so. Yeah, I think because it's Ubisoft that makes the Assassin's Creed games, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Ubisoft approached them, and I don't think they gave them much time.
Yeah. So, with that said, I feel like you could probably put it like the bottom of C tier, because it's definitely not bad. It's just like... Yeah.
I'd say, honestly, I think if D tier didn't have as much weight to it, I would put it at the top of D tier. But it's very borderline for me.
Yeah. I do... I love and hate the line from Al Capone being, I had syphilis, yeah. Well, you're a huge dick. It's like, what? But also... Nice.
It fits the character.
Yeah, it's all right at the end of the day.
Yeah. Miley Cyrus versus Joan of Arc.
Woo-hoo-hoo! This one, underrated, I tell you. Underrated.
Whoever played Joan of Arc, wow.
Jessie Smiles is her name. She kills it. The girl who plays Miley Cyrus does a great job. Man, just so good. Like the lines in this one, like the beat is all right. It's better than you'd think it would be on re-listening. But the lines this one are great. Like
this one has a very similar energy to Cleopatra versus Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, it's definitely not as every line is a banger, but it's every other line is a banger. You know what I mean? Like Joan coming in her second verse, just like, "Do not take the Lord's name in vain, you ratchet skank." It's like, whoa! she's flaming him. She speaks some French as well. She says, I can't remember the line, but it's like the girl on fire in French.
Yeah. I believe that's also what her name was at some point.
I believe so, yeah. It's just really good. Lloyd and Pete's little cameo as Hannah and Lily is fantastic. It's solid. It is very solid. Yeah. I think it's got to be B tier,
Yeah, I think it's probably here.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe here.
I'd go for it.
Let's put it there. Bob Ross versus Pablo Picasso. It's Bob Ross, and I think NicePeter really nails Bob Ross a lot. Maybe a little too jolly, maybe a little too on the meme side.
Yeah,
but at the same time, this one was very mediocre.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it, but I don't love it.
Yeah. I think it's perfectly solid. I love the little line like my wiener lump. Like I just love that line delivery. I think that's great. But it wasn't it's not gonna wow you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's better than here. I think it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, very solid middle ground, middle of C tier. Not much better, not much worse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Michael Jordan versus Muhammad Ali. Another Key and Peele.
Yeah. Always coming with the heat.
Didn't live up to the standards that the first Key and Peele video did.
Yeah, definitely not as good as Gandhi MLK. But I thought this one was very good as well. The beat was like kind of nice, like the da-da-da, da-da-da, like that kind of goes hard. I love that little sequence with Michael Jordan when he's like, I'll dunk you over your Broadway play, over your screenplay, like, and the beat's like stopping as he's going. I think that's great. You know, I think I believe it's Peele has like a great flow. He's like, here comes Rodman, big tongue waggling. Like, I can't remember what he's saying, but like he's just got like a nice flow going.
It just really knocks into each other really well.
Yeah, like I think it flows together perfectly. I think they both portray the characters really well, but it's not like over the top fantastic. Like, I feel like it's a very solid B tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Where in B tier? There's like a lot in B tier. I'm not sure.
I would probably put it in between Beethoven and Mr. T.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna let Storm take this one because I know how he feels about this one.
Oh man, this one slaps! Like, I'm telling you, you have to rewatch it because a lot of people have only seen this one once or haven't seen it. But Donald Trump's opening verse is actual flames. Like, this man goes nuts. Like, he comes in and he's like, you remind me of my ex-wife in a bikini because you disgust me. Which is so iconic. And then he pieces out real quick. He's like, I got my own fucking problems. Call me 2 Chainz. It's like, oh. Like, he has such, like, the bravado of a rapper. I love it. You know, Zach Sherwin comes back in. His beat that he comes back in, it's got this, like, kind of like, for lack of a better term, like, train horn sound going. It's like, dun, 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 dun. It's like, it's just very, like, catchy. JP Morgan has a great line. He's like, I'm properly rocking the Monopoly mustache, which is just awesome. Daystorm kills it as Kanye. And they have, like, the N Spectre, which is fine. You know, it's always going to be that. But yeah, I thought this one was like really underrated and very good for that whole the Christmas theme, you know?
Yeah, so. It's one of the multi-character videos, obviously, but also this one's definitely the like least expected multi-character videos. Like, where did Kanye come from? What?
It's definitely, I'd say it's probably the weakest of the like big ensemble cast videos. Yeah. But it's still very good, you know?
Yeah, I rewatched it. Again, we talked about something like this before. Me and Storm did a couple months ago. I rewatched it then, and I agree with him. But my point is, I think this keeps it from being any higher than B tier, any higher than high B tier, maybe, because it's so, for no real reason. Maybe they didn't put the tags right in the video or something. It's so forgettable. Yeah, like you said, you only watch it once. No, you don't really know anyone that watches this one more than once. There's probably a lot of you out there who are into epic rap battles of history that didn't even know this one existed. I forgot about it completely. So I think that really holds it back a lot.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I don't know where we'd put it though.
I think you can make the case for high C tier. I really want to put it bottom B tier, but it's either one really.
I got to put it there. It's just so forgettable.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's one of the most forgettable ones. Walter White versus Rick Grimes. I gotta be honest, haven't seen a lick of either show. Wow. I understand some of the references, but I have not watched Breaking Bad or The Walking Dead. Do they interest me? No.
Wow.
So I'm sorry for the disappointment on that one, but I can't really talk much on this other than I enjoyed the Walter Whitey tighties.
From the behind the scenes.
From the behind the scenes.
This is honestly the best behind the scenes video. But
that's the only good thing about it.
No. This one is definitely very good for those who have seen both shows. Like someone like me, very good. All the lines are great. You know, Lloyd's portrayal of Walter White is fantastic. I don't know what you think I've done. Like, it's just like it's great. Peter is great as Rick Grimes as well. You know, like Carl, like the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like it's very good, but it's not like over the top fantastic. You know, I think you got to put it in B tier at the very least.
Okay. I'm gonna put it here though.
But it's very good. For those who have seen the shows, all the lines are very good. He's like, you look up to me like I'm a pizza on the roof, which if you've seen the show is great. I've seen Walker Jr. Or Walter Jr. handles walkers better than you, which is a fantastic line. It's very good.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything about it. I know nothing about the shows. The behind the scenes is hilarious. This is the Leprechaun behind the scenes.
The Walter Whitey Highty Tighty.
This one's really good. But that's all we can really say about it.
Yeah.
So low B tier. But that does lead us into Superman versus Goku, which is a classic matchup for a reason I don't really quite understand. I understand, but I also don't understand.
Well, just Goku is commonly compared to Superman all the time.
Dude, yeah. When I say matchup, I mean like matchup I don't understand, and like in common when you fight two characters together. Yeah. So yeah, I know that they're a good matchup for that because they're both like super powerful people, but at the same time, ERB did a terrible job on this one.
Yeah, this one was not great.
In my opinion, this one's our second F tier.
I don't know if it's F tier though. Like it's bad, but it's not as bad as Genghis Khan Easter Bunny. You know, because look, here's the thing: when you're taking cartoon characters and putting it into live action, it's very hard to do. We'll come back to this when we get to Thanos and things. But it's like for what they're trying to do, they did their best. You know, and I think the costumes were pretty good. But yeah, it just wasn't that great. You know?
It's. This one keeps coming back because of NicePeter, but it's worse than this one. Not because of NicePeter. If NicePeter was the only thing about this battle, it'd be an F tier. But it's worse than this one because the saving grace of Lloyd and Tights and Zach Sherwin. That's the only reason. Mm-hmm. Okay, Edgar Allan Poe versus Stephen King, which if you guys can see this thumbnail, I don't know how good it's going to look on a YouTube video, especially in mobile sizes. But whenever I see this thumbnail, Stephen King is just going,
honestly, that's really how it be sometimes. But yeah, this one was like, I feel like it's a very solid like C tier. You know, it's not super memorable by any means, but for a Halloween battle, I think the beat is really good. I think the beat is the best part of this battle. I love Watsky's portrayal as Edgar Allan Poe. He's talking about like doing, because he wrote some of his verses in like old poetry style, which is really cool.
Pentameter and stuff. It was very. This one from the Poe standpoint was very well done. Yeah,
I think Stephen Hawking's bars were good too, but it's just like again very middle of the road. You know, like not bad, not great.
Yeah. And Stephen Hawking, you got me saying it now. Stephen King's actor portrayal wasn't the best.
Yeah, it's because like Zach Sherwin's a kind of a darker man, so it's just Stephen King is a very white dude, so it's just kind of weird. But you know, it's solid.
They did their best. Yeah, that's where it sits though. I can't put it anywhere else. It's not better or worse than those ones. Very middle C tier.
Yeah.
Again, this one bias to all hell. Weird Al Yankovic is one of my favorite artists of all time. Love him. Hilarious. Every parody he's ever made is funny. All of his original music is hilarious. And also, with someone as iconic as Bill Nye, I know if they could have gotten Bill Nye to play himself, oh my god. This was a little bit before he was like super big again, and before he was a meme. But this one's like, I want to put it in S tier, but I know it can't be. It's got to be A tier, but it has to be high A tier for me.
Yeah, I would agree with A tier. I don't think it's S tier. But I do think all of them bring it, especially with Weird Al being there. You gotta bring it, you know.
Yeah.
I think Charlie Tuna as what's his name?
I'm blanking.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. There it is.
Absolutely kills it. You know, we got a badass over here, but I got your back, nah. Like it's
astrophysics, black guy. By the way, the answer to your little question is I, as in I. Put the what does he say back in science? The swag back in science.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I think the beat works pretty well. I love all of the dances that Pete does as Bill Nye. All of his moves are great.
I think it goes there. I think I actually probably could go here.
I honestly I would put it in between Lincoln and Gandhi. Honestly, I think that's as high as it can go. Yeah, like it's good, but it's not.
All right, I'll give you that. You know. Okay, William Wallace versus George Washington is okay. It's okay.
Yeah, this is another one where I feel like, again, pretty much everything that's going to go into C tier can be summed up by it's good, not great, kind of forgettable. Like, that's basically what it is, you know?
I will say it's better than that section.
Yeah.
I think.
There's definitely, like, a divide there.
Yeah. I don't think we can really say much else about this one.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, Lloyd's got some good lines, like, couldn't hold my balls if you were my caddy, which I think is great. You're the father of your country, but I'm your daddy.
But I am your daddy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that one's good. But so, you know. that does lead us into, I think this is me and Storm's one of our most controversial differential opinions on this one. But oh my god, do I love Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael versus Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael so much. You've got Rhett and Link in this one, which again, I'm biased as all hell, I'll admit it. You've got Smosh, which is hilarious, and now actually, funnily enough, this is Smosh. If you guys don't know, Smosh was going bankrupt because they got disbanded from, I believe, Also Maker Studios when that whole thing happened. And Rhett and Link, the mythical company, bought Smosh so they could stay afloat. So now Rhett and Link own Smosh as like a thing, which is crazy. But like those four all together are like the quintessential internet. Like, that's what that is, and I love it. The lines in this one are hilarious, every single one of them. You wouldn't know class if it pissed in your sewer from Link. My absolute favorite line, I think, in any rap battle ever, because of the flow and what they did with it, is catch an Italian boot to the half shell, because it's the TMNT theme song. Like, what? It's so good, and it's all four of them. The harmony's great on it. Their actor portrayals are hilarious. The costumes for the Ninja Turtles are so good. Michelangelo's last line, save a slice for me, and our master ain't here, dude. Like, those are all so good. I want to put this one in S tier. For many reasons, even without the bias. I think it's great. But I did say.
That's the thing, right? This might be the most different opinions we have. Now, hear me out. Again, I've only seen it a few times, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it by any means. I just didn't think it was that good. You know, I do like the whole, like, Master Splinter part. I think that's great. I love the beat. The beat is banging. You know, got that groove, like that bass groove. But it's just like... I don't know. I just didn't think it was that great. I feel like it's like high C tier, low B tier. But you know, I could very easily put it in B or A tier. I just don't. No way is it S tier though. No way.
See, this I don't know where to put this because like, what is the average of S and C? B, right? But like, oh my god, I want it to be so high, but I understand.
I know that you love it so much, so I feel like putting it in low A would be fine.
Yeah,
you know, I'm sure a lot of people love this one too. I can be a little bit of a stinker sometimes, so you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's all good though. That one's so good. I've rewatched it so many times. It's one of the ones that I like memorized. It's a season 3 finale. Another one of the multi characters, but not like multi as in like surprise, but like multi as in multiple. But that one's good. That one's excellent. But also another bias. I love the Mythbusters and I love the Ghostbusters. This one, all of the references nailed them. They nailed every reference. The actor portrayals were hilarious. They were great. I love the beat because every time the Mythbusters, especially in their first verse, they have the guitar riff from the theme song.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh my god, it's so good. Like, what? It's so good. It's so good. I can't. Oh my god, this is another one that I want to put in S tier, but I know it can't be. Not just simply because of what Storm's opinion is, but because I know that not everyone loves this one. And it was one of their weaker ones, I'll admit. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man kind of knocks it down for me a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing, I actively don't like Mythbusters and Ghostbusters. So it's like, I'm very negatively biased on this one. But, you know, I thought it did some stuff well. I thought, like, Lloyd and Pete were fantastic in this one. Like, they both really personified the characters. The Michelin Man thing was kind of weird. Again, animated characters are very hard to do in a context like this.
You really can tell he doesn't like either of these series because he called the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man the Michelin Man.
You know what I meant.
No!
You know what I meant. The Marshmallow Boy. But, like, I'm not that into it. I would put it in C tier. But I'll settle for like
putting it in
low
B
B,
tier.
honestly. You know,
I'll give it to you. Although I will say it's better than that one.
wow, that's disrespectful.
Okay, I'll put it back.
Because it's really good. Like I know it's stark contrast. Like I haven't seen Mythbusters, you haven't seen Breaking Bad, but it's like you know.
That's kind of funny. That's kind of our little like points of conflict there for us too.
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde versus Romeo and Juliet.
This one is also surprisingly good.
Yeah, this one's really serious, but also really wacky at the same time.
Yeah, I think everything Juliet says is absolutely amazing. Like, I can't get over how good it is. Man, she's like something with the neck of a chicken. Like, it's like, ooh. After they shoot them, she's like, what irony is this? The lead role shot down by a failed actress. Like, it's so good. And then when she gets up again, it kills me. She's like, where's Romeo? Oh, Romeo, there's poison on your face. Absolutely fantastic. Like, it's so good. But the battle as a whole, like, it's very good, but it's not amazing. I think bottom of B tier or high C tier would be just fine. But it's surprisingly good, you know?
Yeah. We'll put it here.
Yeah.
Is this our second F tier, dude?
I don't think you can put it F tier because the rapping, the lines, and the beats aren't bad. It's just, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know for me personally, the Lego thing just threw me off. Like, I just could not get into it at all.
And you know what's crazy about this? This was around when the Lego movie was in its like commercial popularity before the movie actually came out, when it was starting to be pushed. And this wasn't a Lego movie tie-in. It was the EpicLloyd and NicePeter saw this. There's these stop motion Lego guys that do like really really nice work for stop motion Lego movies, and they just decided to collaborate with them. And it was just a coincidence of timing. It's not a Lego movie tie-in at all.
Wild.
And it's weird. And I think that if Zeus versus Thor ever came back, if they were to remake anyone, they need to remake this one with real people.
Yeah, definitely.
It would make it 10 times better. I want to put it in F just because of how weird the Legos were, but I understand that the lines really do save this one. But it is no better than the Batman one. Yeah,
that's the thing. Is it's the battle itself is by no means bad. It's just the Legos is really off-putting.
Yeah,
you know.
Where are we putting it here though? Is it?
I think you could put it. I think you could put it below Goku Superman.
All right. Jack the Ripper. What does he say? Jack the Ripper versus Hannibal Lecter's.
Here's the thing. This matchup, phenomenal. And Lloyd's portrayal of Hannibal is super good for anyone who's seen Silence of the Lambs. But man, so I'm kind of biased. I don't really like Dan Bull that much. Like, it's just my thing. And the thing that absolutely ruins his battle for me is I believe it's Jack the Ripper's second verse. But the first thing he says, he goes, I'm wheel, but he has that speech impediment, so he says wheel with a W, and it just is so unintimidating. It just it takes me out of it completely. It's But I do like Lloyd's portrayal a lot. I like his verse saying you didn't mention me once in your battle rap. He's analyzing him like Hannibal would do. So I think it's got to be C tier because it's not bad. It's just it could have been so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. It's here, I think, maybe even here.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay, Ellen versus Oprah.
Man, this one again underrated.
Very underrated. This one's good.
Here's the thing, right? So both actresses kill it. Absolutely personify them both. The beat is super good on this one. It is so good. The beat on this one. And there's just so many good lines. Ellen's lines, here's the thing, they made it very similar to Ellen as a person, so very non-threatening bubbly and friendly, but that's not gonna cut it in a rap battle, so I feel like that's what holds it back. But Oprah's lines are great. You drive behind me in a secondhand Porsche, that's the Dalai Lama and Obama have my cell number. It's just
and Obama have my cell number.
It's so good. I love the line where she's like, what's up?
I was gonna say this one's definitely somewhere in B.
Yeah, I'd say it's I would honestly put it I would put it in between Miley Cyrus and Michael Jackson. I think it's that good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
love,
very good.
Favorite part of the whole battle is Oprah's verse. She's like staring down Ellen. She's like, "I'll put my hands around your throat and deep choke ya." I think that's fantastic. So
really good.
Very good. Definitely give it a rewatch. You haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, 100%. All right, the directors. This one, I'm gonna let you take over. You are a movie buff, and I am not.
Yeah, I'm a huge movie guy. Man, they absolutely kill it with all of the portrayals of the directors. So good. All the beats fit really well for all the directors too. All the lines are great. The only one that's like kind of weak is Spielberg, but it's okay. Lloyd's portrayal as Hitchcock is fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm the best man Majamba ever stood behind a camera. It's like, ooh, like that's fire. I love how they're all just ripping on Michael Bay, even though he hasn't been introduced yet, and then he comes in at the end, absolutely insane.
Money.
Oh, the motherfucking money! Like it's so good. It is so good. I think this is S tier.
Who's the director of The Shining?
That was Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, I love the way they bring him in.
Yeah,
and the way they do it with the tricycle and the beat, I think that's excellent. Yeah,
great introduction. The guy who plays him, they don't really say too much about him in the behind the scenes, but he does a great job. Kubrick was known for being very like not eccentric, but just very meticulous with his work. So it shows that in his battle, how his eyes are just dead and he's like staring into the camera. It's fantastic. I think it's S tier, but if you want to knock it down to A, I think that's fine.
For me personally, I would say A tier because I don't quite get the references, but I do love the battle. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to think of the general population and how well it did on the channel, and I think it did fairly well. But it's also one of those ones like you have to be a movie person. Yeah, I think you could probably put it like in between. I would put it in between Lincoln and Columbus, honestly. Really? Yeah, because like it's not because a lot of people don't know who Hitchcock is, don't know who Kubrick is. Yeah. It doesn't. They don't know enough about them. Yeah, but I know everyone loves Michael Bay's verse, so Mm-hmm. But then we didn't mention anything about Wax as Tarantino. He did a great job too. It's just a phenomenal battle. Yeah. Another Rhett and Link one, but one of their worst battles, just of ERB in general. I think this is our second F tier, honestly. Mm-hmm. I think this has to be I don't want to put Rhett and Link down there, but what was this? It's just such a weird matchup. Like, Lewis and Clark would have been fine, especially they brought in Sacagawea. But it's if they did Lewis versus Clark, that would have been great with Rhett and Link. But where did Bill and Ted come from? It really is. It's just not very good, man. Like, it's just... I love Rhett and Link, but when I don't have a saving grace or anything to really talk about with Rhett and Link in a video, like, I can't give you something about Rhett and Link's performance to bring it out of F tier, it was bad. Yeah. Like, it's not good. But that does lead us into David Copperfield versus Harry Houdini. I think this is one of our next D tiers. Yeah, honestly, they kind of went on a cold streak here. This one was not very good either. I rewatched this yesterday to get ready to make this, and I still don't remember anything about it. Like, it's just not... It's not great. I think it's cool that they tried to do magicians. I thought that was a really cool idea, and, like, the production value on it was great. But... the Chris Angel joke was funny. Yeah, but it's just, like, not that good, Yeah. I think it's here. Yeah, I think it's fair. Yeah. Alrighty, I gotta bring this down a little bit. Terminator versus RoboCop, I think, is underrated. I think the portrayal of both of the characters was really, really good. The way they got the voice work for RoboCop. NicePeter has a very distinctive chin, though, and that kind of throws it off a little bit. But I think EpicLloyd as a Terminator was really solid. Where would you put this? I really did not like this one at all. Like, I would say like D tier. Like, I just didn't. Yeah. I didn't care for it. I thought it was cool that they got like the Terminator arm in and that did that little effect that they did from the movies, which is great. But it's such a like colossal matchup that it did not live up to it. I don't think. One of those ones for sure. I do think it's high D tier though. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, the philosophers. This one is really interesting.
Yeah.
This one's very interesting because there's a lot of... You kind of need to know who these people are, which if you take certain classes in different levels of education, like high school and college, you'll very much know who these people are. You also will know who some of their names are just in passing, like Socrates and Plato. But I don't know. This one was great, but also it leaves something to be desired. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's it's definitely good, and I like how they have that little beatbox breakdown. That was really great. I think the beat is really good, like the da na na da na na da na na, like it goes hard. But it's I don't know, I don't know how to describe it. It's good, but it doesn't have that
yeah,
you know what I mean? I think it's high B tier, but I don't think you can make a case for it being any better.
You know? I definitely think it's the top of B tier for sure. Okay, Shaka Zulu versus Julius Caesar is, I also think, fairly underrated.
Yeah, I think it's underrated to a degree. I think it is it's solid, but it's not amazing. I think it's a really cool matchup. You know, two historically great military leaders. You know, Peter's got some great lines in there. You can go for my wheat for me after you're beaten. That's crazy.
Yeah, that one's...
yeah, it's intense. I love the beat on this one. It's super good. The beat is hard for this one. But you know, it was good. I think low B tier, high C tier, honestly. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's here. No, I think it's here. Yeah, I think there. I think there's good. Stan Lee versus Jim Henson. R.I.P. to both of these legends.
Rest in peace.
One more recent than the other, of course. But with a cameo. This one's fun.
Yeah.
This one's very fun. The beat's good. The voice work is really good. The MICKEY, that's the ominous dystopian chanting of the Disney scene coming in. I think this one is low A tier.
Yeah, I think this one is fantastic. I absolutely love Lloyd as Stan Lee. In the behind the scenes, someone makes someone makes a joke that he looks like he should be on a senior cruise, which is just so great. I think Pete put a lot of work into the Jim Henson portrayal, which was great. I love Zach Sherwin as Walt. He goes nuts. You know, I love the line. What was the line? So get back to work. That's my time you're wasting. I didn't buy you for billions, so you can stand around here debating. It just, you know, and before he comes in, they honestly had a great little back and forth, and then made up, and then Disney comes in and just just goes nuts.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I think it's very, very well done.
Very, very good. Deadpool versus Boba Fett. I think the costume work on Deadpool was good, but the Boba Fett one was not. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, this is it was funny because they made this before the Deadpool movie came out. So I think
even before it was in rumblings of even being a thing.
No, it was only a few months before it came out. So it was if they just waited a little bit, I think it could have been so much better. So they would have had a lot more material to go off of.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of comic books, but way more people are going to watch the movie than read the comic books. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's very C tier. You know, it's well done. Costume work is great. The lines for Boba Fett are great. He's I don't he said something I don't need to talk because I look fucking great, which is true. And I love how borderline schizophrenic they have Deadpool as. You know, he's changing costumes all the time. He's got his little hat on and the cane. He walks in. He's introducing the most overrated character everyone's any saw. It's I think that's great. But you know, it's just not. It's not amazing. You know.
Yeah, I think sitting it there is good though. Yeah. George R.R. Martin versus J.R.R. Tolkien. Some of the effects and visuals in this one were phenomenal.
Yeah.
The editing was great. Yeah, the tree branch and the candle and all that, I think was great. But it left something to be desired, man. This is another one of those heavy-hitting matchups that just didn't work for some reason.
Yeah.
I can't really put my finger on it either, though.
I was gonna say, like, no author joke pun intended, but it sounds a lot more fun on paper. You know what I mean?
Yay.
Like, it's like, yeah, like the creator of Lord of the Rings, creator of Game of Thrones, like, there's so much to go off of. But it's like, when you get down to the actual author, like, that's not why you like them. It's like, you like them for their work, so it's like, it's hard to, like, make disses about them. Like, obviously, you know, like, one of them is fat, one of them is really old, but it's like, you know, it just wasn't as impactful as you'd expect.
No.
So
that's why I'm thinking D tier.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, like top of D tier, because the production value is just amazing, and I like the beat on this one.
Yeah,
so.
It's got redeeming qualities, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon Ramsay versus Julia Child. What? This one's funny.
This one is absolutely hilarious. I love Lloyd as Gordon Ramsay. I believe the actress name is Mamrie Hart. I know she has a YouTube channel as well.
Mamrie Hart.
She's hilarious. Like, I love
her voice.
Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, I'm kind of like in between like C and B tier here. Like, I don't really know where to put it. But I really enjoyed it.
Either.
I think,
you know what? I'm gonna put it. I want to put it here.
Dang, you think it's that good?
It's got. I think it's really funny. The only thing that really throws me off is that Gordon Ramsay thing. Like, here's a jacket, now give it back or something like that. And it's like, what? I don't understand that. It didn't really flow very well for me. I don't know. I feel like it can go here, but at the same time, I don't know. I like looking at some of these other ones. It's definitely not here. It's better than the first of this one, but I don't think it can go here because I do think it's better than the Shaka Zulu. I do think it's better than Romeo and Juliet. But once I start hitting like around these ones, I don't know where I should put it or where it should go.
Let's put it in between Romeo and Juliet, and what's the other one there? You're kind of hovering over it.
That's Mythbusters versus Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think that's a fair place to put it.
Hey guys, Jason during editing here. You're probably wondering why we ended on Julia Child versus Gordon Ramsay. Well, that's because we looked at the timestamp on the video, and as you guys can see, it's about an hour and a half long. So what we figured was it'd be a little easier for all of us to just go ahead and make two separate parts. So this is the first part of the ERB tier list that we've made, and we'll be uploading the second part shortly. While you're waiting for that, what you can go ahead and do is like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what your favorite epic rap battles of history was, how you think our tier list is going so far, and also tell us what other opinions and topics you'd like to see tier lists made on. We've got a lot of plans already, but we'd also like to hear from you guys about what you'd like to see. We're looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your days.